Hello everyone, I'm Fizza Zashan and welcome to the first episode of Spill the Book presented by LGU Book Club.
I am Amna Sadia and today we are going to talk about Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka.
Metamorphosis is one of the most unsettling and powerful written stories ever. When a man wakes up and he's no longer a human anymore, he's not a villain, he's not a hero, he is something absurd. And this is not just a story about a man transforming into an insect. It's about identity, it's about worth. It's about how worth is tied, how value is tied to productivity, and how his family reacts under pressure, and how conditional love can be, and how society reacts to you when you're no longer useful.
Well, we all are just one transformation away from being abandoned by our own family and the people we claim to love.
And that's exactly very right. And when we talk about how Kafka explained it in his story, that Gregor Samsa is basically, he's a traveling salesman. He travels places to places and all he does is provide for his family. That's why he works. So one day when he wakes up and he cannot move, he's an insect, he's transformed into an insect. The first thing he cares about is not that he is transformed into an insect or he's not a human anymore. The first thing that he cares about is that he will not be able to go to work. He will miss his work.
I think one of the most absurd part was that his own boss claiming that he's just lazy but cannot see what he's going through. It's not just about the emotional and mental agony that person was going through. It was also about that physical pain he was carrying. Imagine being in a conflict where you are carrying human emotions. You can feel things to the human depth, but you are a giant insect and you have to crawl to walls and function the way a human being does.
Exactly, I was about to come to that part. The most disturbing thing is not the transformation itself. It's the reaction that the family gave. It's the reaction that his loved ones gave. There were stages, the psychological layer behind it. Like at first they were shocked. The family was shocked. Then they got scared. They got horrified. The employer got horrified. And then they started seeing him as a burden. More of something that needs to be removed, that must be removed. And then they removed him, they discarded him. And that's the bitter reality, I believe, that Kafka talked about. And he showed us he did not just write a story or a personal story. He showed us that how humans can be selfish and how humans do not understand each other when there's lack of empathy. And it's basically interlinked. When you do not understand someone, you lack empathy, basically. You start lacking the empathy. And the fact that Gregor is still Gregor inside, but nobody sees it. Nobody acknowledges that.
I totally agree to your point, Fizza. So basically, Fizza, people say that it's a fiction.
Yeah.
But as you enlisted all the points so well, don't you think it's just the reality of not just Gregor, every other person living in this world?
It is, because of lack of empathy, we do not understand each other. We judge when people are not able to meet our expectations, when they disappoint us. There you go. You stop understanding them. You stop acknowledging the position. For example, if a child fails at school, the parents, they get disappointed, right? The child has disappointed them. So they will never understand or acknowledge his mental condition or his mental situation. The first thing they will do is get mad, act like he is a failure, he's a burden, because he's not able to provide them, he's not able to meet their expectations. So I think that is very true, and that's also our better reality. And that's why I always see the story, like you said, Amna, that it's not fiction. It is timeless fiction, I believe, because in the modern times, we still can see that how productivity is tied to worth, human worth. And so I believe the brutal question that Kafka is trying to ask is that, is human value related to existence or productivity, or how useful they can be?